Welcome back. This is the Lightforge Arena tier list valuation podcast stream YouTube pod. We're on Warlock now, and this is for Descent of Dragons. I am ADWCTA.
This is Merps. We are nearing the finish line. 6 hours in. Great. Haha. Definitely not tired. We're talking about Warlocks. All right. Warlocks with their evilness and their AoEs and their evil things. Let's talk about Warlocks. You talk about Warlocks.
All
You
right.
do it.
So, like with the other classes besides Rogue that we mentioned, at least half, usually 100% or near 100% of their top class cards are all from Descent of the Dragon. So, this is a very important set. Warlock is somewhere between Rogue and all these other guys. So the top 4 cards for Warlock are all board clears, and they're old board clears. It's Defile, Hellfire, Shadowflame, Shriek. After that, you get another board clear, Despicable Dreadlord, and then another board clear, Demon Wrath. And then after that, you get another board clear in Dark Bargain, sort of board clear. And then you have Siphon Soul stuck in there, but then after that, you get Twisting Nether. And then you get Demon Bolt, and then Dread Inferno, which is another kind of board clear. So you get the idea of what Warlock is working with to start. Now, in the middle of this is where Descent of Dragons comes in. For the 5th highest card in Warlock, this is around where Despicable Dreadlord is. It's Crazed Netherwing. Crazed Netherwing comes in as a 5-mana 5/5 dragon, so totally on curve, but with a battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other characters. So it's a Hellfire on a 5/5. That's really good.
Yes.
But it's a board clear. And if you're a Warlock, we're at the point now where you're getting offered a lot of board clears. And how many board clears do you actually want or need? And most of them are double-sided too. So the issue is not really with how powerful this card is. It's a very powerful card. It's a 163. But so many of your cards are duplicating a function that is actually kind of niche.
Yes.
Wow, you really want this to go fast, don't you?
I agree with your statements.
All right, all right.
Please.
So going
Go
down
on.
after that whole list of like 12 cards that are all board clears or hard removals, you get to 136, which is the next card. This is around where Saronite Chain Gang is and Sea Giant is for Warlock, so it's still in the low premium kind of category. And it's Nether Breath. And this one, despite being less powerful overall than a Crazed Netherwing, is actually potentially more useful. It's a 2 mana, deal 2 damage. This includes face. If you're holding a dragon, deal 4 damage with lifesteal instead. So if you're holding a dragon, it becomes like a really good removal and you heal. And the important part about this isn't that it's like super powerful. So you deal 1 more damage than you're supposed to and gain some health. That's good and all. But you're also Warlock. You don't really have many dragons. In fact, the only dragon that you're getting added that's any good is this Crazed Netherwing. And again, that has a kind of a duplicate function. So you're on the low side of how many dragons you have as a class for Descent of Dragons, and you're not gaining too much for this ability. But it's unique within the set of cards that Warlocks have. It is not a board clear or a hard removal. And that's actually very useful for a Warlock.
Yes.
Nether Breath. Okay, let's go down some more. Once again, all of these Warlock cards are going to be 1.5x in terms of offering rate to where you think they should be, even with the expansion bonus. Like on top of the expansion bonus, because the Galakron cards are removed from the arena, and so these cards kind of like take its place. So next you have Rain of Fire, 1 mana, deal 1 damage to all characters. It's like a whirlwind. It's at 119.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's Warlock. Warlocks don't have pings, so pings are generally rated decently high. And that's where like Harvest Golem is. So it's a like you'll see Whirlwind kind of like not quite be that good in Warrior, I think. Maybe. Okay, but yeah, it's Rain of Fire. Anything special to say about Rain of Fire?
No, it's just kind of silly. Like when you look at Rain of Fire and then you look at something like Defile, right? It is just Kind of stupid. All right.
All right. Afterwards, you get 104, so we're already below a Yeti here. And you get Abyssal Summoner. Abyssal Summoner is a 6 mana 2/2 battlecry, summon a demon with taunt and stats equal to your hand size. That's fine. If you're playing a fast warlock, like a zoo kind of warlock, you may not have a great hand size, and this is kind of a bad card. If you're playing a mid-range warlock or a defensive warlock, because of all your double-sided board clears, and this could be super good. Like you board clear, and then you play this card, and you still have a lot of cards in your hand, and it's a lot of tempo, lets you catch up again. But overall, that kind of playstyle, like you saw all the top cards. Like besides Siphon Soul, none of the other ones heal. Like your Nether Breath is your one healing one, which is good, but you're still pretty low on heals, even as a warlock. And remember, there's no good heals in neutral, so it's tough. It's tough to play like off the board and try to double sided board clear a lot as the warlock.
Yep. What's next?
I think there's one. I think the last card in Warlock is Dark Skies. Dark Skies is rated 70. It is bad. It is worse than a Wisp. Slightly worse than a Wisp. And it is epic. It is a 3 mana card that says, deal 1 damage to a random minion. Repeat for each card in your hand. This is a random minion, including possibly your minion. So you have to throw all your minions into your opponent's minions, then play this and it board clears. So again, another board clear, but this one's like a very tiny board clear, and it like doesn't work all that well, and it's bad.
Yeah. If it was random enemy minion, man, it would be a lot better. But it's not. So it's not a lot better. Wow.
Yep. All right. Overall, you look at this, and there's a lot of. It's just not a very exciting like set to come in for the Warlocks because it doesn't quite connect up. It's giving you a bunch of things you don't need. The one card that should be really exciting for Warlock players is Nether Breath, because that's actually a very useful card. Healing 4 is huge, and then you also have positive tempo.
Yeah. We've gone so many sets now, and so many metas in which Warlocks really have a problem of too much premium removals, and it gets in the way. And especially like Warlocks definitely suffer more from not having buckets because if you have too much removal, well, that's fine. That's when you take the Fungal Mancer. That's when you take the just really good minion, right? That's when you take the Fire Plume Phoenix and you say, okay, well, I'm going to take this minion instead of the Shadow Flame or the Hellfire. But you can't do that now. So if you are looking at your third Hellfire, well, what are you taking instead of that? Are you taking like the Murloc Raider? Yeah, I guess you are, but then on average, you are hurting the overall value of your deck, right? More so than if there were buckets. So that's sort of the problem that Warlocks have. They definitely suffer a little bit when there are no buckets because you can't have too much removal in Warlock that is definitely going to lead to you slowly dying and remove, and then suddenly you come into a situation where you can't remove, and that's it.
Yeah, most of the good, like almost all the good Warlock cards are double-sided removals or hard removals. And then their middle cards are like nothing exciting either. It's a weird package. You're just losing a lot of value.
Yeah.
And you can't lose the value here. Like, that's the problem. Because you look at what cards in Descent of Dragons all these other classes are getting. Your hero power is not actually going to keep up with their card draw. If what you're playing is very low value cards. So I don't know. I feel pretty down about Warlock's chances in this upcoming meta.
Okay. Let's talk about the legendaries.
Legendaries. Warlocks have 2 legendaries. One is Valdris Felgorge at a 133. 133 around where Baron Geddon is. It is a 7 mana 4/4 battle cry. Draw 4 cards. Also increase your maximum hand size to 12. Which could be helpful.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be playing this card if you have so many cards that increasing it to 12 would actually be helpful. But it's still like a sprint on a stick, right? Sprint is draw 4 cards. This one gives you a 4/4. That's pretty good.
So I
133.
think some people might be like, wait, why is it so low? Because it is sprint on a
Well,
stick.
sprint's only 100, and this is
Yeah.
Warlock.
And this is Warlock. So I was surprised at how high it is because for Warlocks, card draw is not as good. But I mean, this thing is still really good.
Yeah.
So that's where it ends up being. Just like
Think of it as healing yourself for 8 health,
yeah, definitely. So this is pretty good. Like 130, that is a much better card than you would on average draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people would agree with that. Okay, now we have Zeraku the Warped. 8 mana, 4/12 dragon. Whenever your hero takes damage, summon a 6/6 Nether Drake. 115. Not that high.
It's a
Not,
Yeti.
not too low, but not that high. Here's the problem. It's so slow.
Yeah.
It's so slow. Some of you guys might be
Oh my god,
it.
hero power that summons a 6/6. What amazing. How can it be so
Yeah.
low?
We are at the point in which it's like it doesn't have a battle cry. It doesn't have an immediate effect.
Oh,
It
this
doesn't.
is the card. You know how we said in the beginning that there was going to be a card that we're like, oh, I guess we didn't understand how the card like mechanically functioned? This is the card. This
So it's
also
not correct.
works. This also works on your opponent's turn. So if your opponent deals damage to you, it will still keep summoning 6/6 drakes.
Okay.
This card is done as if it were what do you call that 4/4, the 5 mana 4/4 that
Yeah. That's in Battlegrounds now.
yeah, that's in Battlegrounds now. The Floating Watcher. This card is done the same as a Floating Watcher, but it's not a Floating Watcher. It includes your opponent's turn. So let's throw this score out. It's gonna be better than this.
It's gonna be better. So this was the score if it only procced on your turn, which I missed that as well. That is one of those things. So thank you guys. Thank you, chat.
Okay. So we'll hold off on the score here. Well, it's going to be better than a 115, significantly so, because it means your opponent's going to be really punished.
Necessarily has to be better.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. All right. That's it for Warlocks. It's kind of a shame. I mean, it's not really a shame. I don't need Warlocks to be that great. Well, I kind of do because that means Hunters are really good. But one of the things is like they're pretty consistent with Warlocks. They give them weird removals, and they really don't need weird removals. They just need beefy stats. Like they need a stat stick. Something like what they gave for mages, like Faceless Summoner, right? Like if Warlocks ever got like a Faceless Summoner kind of thing, wow, that's so good. Overstatted, divided, like body minion. That's exactly what Warlocks need. But they keep on getting all these removals and initiative, and it's like it's not exactly what they need. They're good cards, but if you're putting all of your eggs in the same basket, that's not good. Yep.
All right. Cool. So that's it for Warlock. We will see you in our final video on Warrior next. We are about to be done. This has gone on for over 6 hours. We will hopefully be done before it hits 7.
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out and a big thank you to Caffeine. Caffeine, it's what makes the world work, and it's what makes me work. So thank you, Caffeine. We'll see you in the next video with Warrior when we will wrap everything up. Will Warriors be good? I don't know. Probably not. See you guys.